thank all of you for giving up your precious time to come and join the event this evening. I'd like to thank Philip for, I think, organising a fantastic event, a fantastic venue. I'd like to thank Will, who is taking our photographs this evening, albeit having to work with some challenging raw material. I would also thank Hank Wagner, one of our professors in the department, who's joined us, and I hope some of our existing students might also join us a bit later if they can wean themselves away from the other free hospitality at another venue for the field trip this evening. But what was very important, and I think Tony picked up on this, was the contribution that you guys do make to our department in terms of the support you provide us with, the expertise you provide to staff and to students, and the contribution you make. And one of the things we're very, very keen on as a department is to find new ways to involve the alumni in the various activities that we undertake. And I think it's for that reason that I'm pleased that we can kind of make two major announcements this evening. The first one, as Tony says, is about our 50th anniversary, which falls in 2015. And we had really three aims, I think, in terms of the celebrations. Firstly, we did want to celebrate the undoubted achievements of the department over those 50 years. Tony has given you a good account of some of those. I like to think we have made a difference in terms of an intellectual contribution, conceptualising planning, the empirical understanding of planning, and making an understanding not just locally, but nationally, regionally and internationally. And I think increasingly broadening the interdisciplinary approach that we take to planning. So I think we've got a very, very strong track record, but it was never, I think one of the things we can be proud of, it was never academic work or intellectualism for its own sake. It was always grounded on trying to make a difference to local communities, and always from a kind of socially progressive background and an aim that really set out an ambition that the world and local places could be better, and that planning was fundamental. So there is an element of celebration of what we're doing. I think a second key aim that we had was to genuinely show the partnership. TRP is a community, it's got existing staff, it's got existing students, but it's equally got a whole range of partner organisations and alumni, and each of those partners has a role to play. And what we very much hope our celebration will allow us to do is to thank those who made a major contribution over the last 50 years, but also to involve those who we hope will include yourselves, who've got a major contribution to make in the future going forward. And I think, just touching on that, I think that was a third element of what we're trying to achieve through our celebrations, and that is to, yes, celebrate what we've done well, but also to take a critical look at the department and to acknowledge the challenges we face as the education system changes, as the labour market changes, as the policy challenges change. One of the things this department has always been built on is understanding challenges and adapting to them. And I think our alumni exhibit that in the way they conduct themselves in their professional lives, and the very real challenges you guys face in the day-to-day business. Our department is no different. We have to use this as a platform to go forward and to change. There's a whole series of events, and obviously we very much hope that you will be involved in those. There's a programme that we will hand out, but we hope to have more events as we go forward. That will involve a number of, I think, very high-profile lectures which Professor Wagner is coordinating, getting some major international scholars to visit Sheffield and give really, I think, cutting-edge theoretical empirical papers. We also have a major dinner on the 23rd of May, so do put that date in your diary, when we will be thanking those who made a contribution and involving those we hope will have a big part of the future of TRP. We also have, I think, a number of other things. We have the Planning Society. I know a number of you here were heavily involved in the Planning Society, our Student Society, and we're going to ask them to organise an event. And we've also got, hopefully, quite a major planning conference in Westfield, which is one of the deprived neighbourhoods in Sheffield, who have now got a major initiative. We're very excited about that. Tony and colleagues will also be involved in a number of outputs. We hope to have a history of the department, and we also hope to have an account in people's own words of their experiences, good and bad, at TRP, and what TRP has meant to them. And we hope as many of you in the room tonight will be involved in that. But as I said, one of the fundamental, I think, characteristics of TRP has been a willingness to change. And hopefully I've just given you a count, I think, of a lot of things that we can celebrate, be proud of, but we also do need to move forward. And the second announcement I wanted to just mention to you guys first, this is the first audience that's really heard this kind of rationale, is that we are indeed going to change the name of the department, which will be known as the Department of Urban Studies and Planning. That raises an obvious question, which is, if we've got so much to celebrate, why are we changing our name? But it's that point, yet again, that the department's strength has always been built about seeing the way the world was changing, seeing the challenges in advance and adapting to that. And I think there's three names why we've decided to change the name of the department. Firstly, Town Regional Planning, we felt was slightly dated, no offence to long-standing alumni, but we felt slightly dated, and particularly had a particular British connotation, which doesn't reflect the international activity we undertake, nor indeed the very international student cohort that we now have. So that was one of the key reasons. I think another key reason was we are now a genuinely interdisciplinary department. We owe a lot to people like Tony and his colleagues who have built the department up over many years, but planning is now one element of what we do. We have sociologists, we do a lot of housing, we do a lot of international development, on real estate, and I think hopefully what our department does is be at the forefront of the interdisciplinary work that is being increasingly promoted, not just in the UK, but across the world. And that's one of the reasons why we want to be a genuinely interdisciplinary urban studies department as well. This was a big stake, you know, it was a big thing to do. We didn't think about this lightly. You've all got a legacy and a stake in TRP. TRP means a lot to a lot of people, so we didn't do this lightly. We had a consultation exercise which included the alumni, and I'm pleased to say that we did get a majority support, a high level of support, very, very high level of support for changing the name, but also a majority support for the specific name. And as you will all know, getting a group of academics to agree on anything is quite an achievement. So I'm particularly pleased we managed to do that. The name change comes in from the 1st of September. So from the 1st of September 2015 we'll be known as the Department of Urban Studies and Planning. We have university approval for that. I would just say, obviously, that there are some concerns. One of the things we've been absolutely clear about is we need a managed process, a transition that's effective, and Philip in particular has brought his expertise to that. And we've also made sure that none of our students are affected in terms of the degree, classification, etc. So I think in conclusion, because you've really come along here, you know, I'm very pleased you've come along to celebrate the department. You've also come to catch up with old friends. You don't want to hear from us much longer. I just really want to thank you again for all the work you've already done for the department, but to say you really do have a future in engaging with the department, particularly next year when we celebrate the past, but hopefully move forward to a very exciting new phase that will be as successful and rewarding as the previous half century. Thank you very much indeed.